that. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Carl Sinclair, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Chief in the streets, Master Cheeks in the sheets, Jack Gibb. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, mate. I'm getting this weird, chilling deja vu vibe. Almost like we, had a technical issue, but that never happens.
Nah,
never happens.
Not on this podcast. Not on this podcast.
Yeah, first crack at the intro.
Some say that we have perfected the one-take wonders in the podcast and YouTube content landscape. We are the best at one takes. Like we smash it every single time. Absolutely.
No, that's it. That's it.
Well, I know how you're doing, but I'll ask again. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm just happy to be here. Happy that we can hear each other, which is great. How are things on your side?
I'm kidding. I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. I'm sorry. I had to. For people listening, I just mouthed it. For people watching, how good was that? I wish you could have seen his reaction. It was fucking great. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. Happy, healthy, ready to get into the potty. I'm very excited. I'm sorry. I had to.
Cancel the whole I was just going to be like, let's come back next week.
I could see it in your eyes. I was going to let it go on a little bit longer, but I could see the look in your eyes that I just you went wild. And I'm like, oh no, mate, I've let it go too far, and all I've said is 4 words.
Oh, mate, I got a new cable here and everything. I got it installed, and I'm like, you know what? I'll do it this week. Come back next week strong. Well, let's continue.
Let's do it. Let's jump into the news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting hyped. We're getting ready. Okay, so me and Jack have already spoken about this. I needed to talk to somebody about it, but there is one thing that this small community that I'm pretty sure is a lot bigger than I'm giving it credit for, because I feel like everybody, anytime you bring up Legacy of Kain, 90% of people are like, I know that, I played that, I loved that. But I feel like the section of people that are like, we want it back, we want to remaster, reboot, that's not as big. People know about it, people played it, but the reboot section, not as big. But it looks like it's happening, because a lot of you, I'm sure you know, and this is definitely going to date the video, the San Diego Comic-Con is happening right now, and we're getting lots of cool news from that. We're getting information on a new Fantastic Four movie. Honestly, the funniest thing, I don't know if you've seen this, but the funniest thing that happened, right, is Deadpool is sort of just opened around the world, right? And they did the Deadpool panel, and no spoilers, but they basically got everyone out on stage. Everyone. So if there's some secret cameos, they came out on stage. That's basically it. So if you hadn't seen it before going to the panel, you know what's in it now. Go watch the movie. It's a great movie. But basically, Legacy of Kain looks like it's finally getting a remaster. So basically, people were walking the show floor and they went past all this awesome merch for Crystal Dynamics and stuff like that. Dark Horse doing their really cool statues and stuff. And just sitting there in one of the cabinets is a Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver statue. And underneath it, it says Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. So they're remastering Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2, it would appear. And that wasn't announced. That is not known by the wider population. It is now. So I'm hoping it was supposed to be announced at Comic-Con, because if not, someone's getting fired. But I'm excited. I mean, it's about time.
Who would publish such a thing? Who made it back in the day?
Crystal Dynamics.
Oh, right. I see. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes
Crystal made it back in the day. It's probably Square, probably?
Oh, they're owned by Embracer Group now, aren't they? But the IP might not be.
Actually, no. I think Embracer does own a Legacy of Kain, because that stirred up a whole bunch of, hey, we're probably going to get a remaster now because Embracer own the IP. Lo and behold, it happened. Because that was the whole thing about Darksiders was, I think it was Embracer that ended up with THQ, and they were like, oh, Darksiders will probably get a sequel now, and it did. Thank God. Where's the next one? Come on. I'm not asking for much. I'm asking for 3 things, right? Legacy of Kain stuff, Darksiders stuff, and a sequel to Darksiders 3. I'm not asking for much. Let's make it happen, guys. Darksiders is great. If you haven't played it, go play that. That's really good. But yeah, no, it looks like we're getting the Legacy of Kain remasters. I'm keen to jump in again and play these games, because Legacy of Kain's one of those games I have such a soft spot for. Whenever I see merch, a poster or something like that, I normally I got to pick that up. You know what I mean? I remember when our Video Easy, Jesus Christ, for kids listening to that was a place where you rented movies and games. It was great. They came on a thing called a disc. You don't know what that is, don't stress. They were getting rid of, like, shutting down, getting rid of everything. And I remember they had like all this promotional stuff for Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. And I was like, holy crap, I just ended up getting all of it because I was super excited. Crazy thing is, have not played that game in such a long time because I'm scared if I play it, my memory of it will be tarnished, because there are so many people that are like, oh man, I played this game that I played so long ago. Oh, it's not as good as I remember, but you know, I've still got the memories. I'm like, man, maybe I should just, I've been like, I'm just going to wait for them to remake it or remaster or bring it forward. We're getting a remaster, and who knows, maybe playing the remaster will make me go, holy shit, like, maybe I should go back and play it. Maybe I should go back and enjoy it, and I probably will. But no, I'm very happy, very excited. I don't know if you have anything to add to this. I just wanted to talk about it with everybody. I'm sorry. I got very excited when I seen this.
I love when you're excited about video games, so I've enjoyed all this, but I got no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Oh, mate, mate, when the remaster comes out, I'll play it on stream. I'll take you on a journey. It's going to be great.
I appreciate it.
I'll pull the original out, you know what I mean? I'll play the originals. There we go. We'll get it going. Mate, well, here's how I can interest you. We've got some updates of some pretty big games this week. So we got an update coming to Helldivers 2 called The Escalation of Freedom.
It looks meaty,
mate, it looks so good. So they basically tweeted out this: do you have what it takes, Helldiver? The Escalation of Freedom major update begins August 6th, featuring new mission objectives, bigger enemy outposts, new bugs and bots, new environmental hazards, and a new difficulty level, level 10. Now, the tweet came out, and then a couple of days happened later, and then we got a 4-minute trailer basically going over everything in more detail for the eventual launch of it on August 6th. Putting it out there, me and the boys, we're diving again, okay? Look out for stream, it's going to be freaking fun. So basically what they're adding, they're making some of the maps a little bit bigger from what I'm understanding. The difficulty level 10 is basically almost doubling the amount of enemies we've seen on difficulty level 8. So we're going to be a lot more enemies on screen than we've ever had before. The bots are getting a brand new like piece of ordnance. So it's basically, best way to, it's like a SAM, you know how you got SAM sites that like anti-air? That's basically what it is. Yep. So it's a rocket sort of launcher that can angle at different angles and get you from super far away. And the way they describe it in the video is it just sounds like this thing doesn't run out. Like, it will constantly be shooting rockets at you. So it's like a priority thing for you to get rid of this in order for you to deal with like the outposts and everything around. The bugs are getting the Impaler, which is an enemy from the original Helldivers making its return to Helldivers 2. Effectively, it's a giant bug that burrows itself underground and has 3 different spikes that come out of the ground and like block you from escaping, and you know, basically make it impossible for you to actually get away from a situation or into a situation without dealing with it first. So that's really cool to see a returning bug, returning enemy from the first game. There are a few more we want to see, including a whole faction. Hopefully we get that really soon. But yeah, that was really cool. We're getting new outposts. Like, there will be outposts that are even bigger than what we've seen before. So basically double, if not triple the size of the outposts that we're dealing with now in the game. And yeah, they're just like adding a whole bunch of new loot, a whole bunch of new armors, a whole bunch of new weapons and stuff that we're going to get to play around with over the next like couple of months to a year. It's good. Yeah, they've really, this update feels like it's like more for like, so I think the thing a lot of people are bringing up is they're like, oh man, like Helldivers has really fallen off, you know? It really hasn't. Like, the people that enjoy Helldivers are still playing Helldivers. We personally may have like taken a step back, but we make content on YouTube and on the internet, so we kind of have to jump around to different games. But Helldivers is always in the back of my mind. Like, I could go back to Helldivers. I could do it any day now. Helldivers is a special place in my heart, the original and the sequel, and I'm always keen to go back. So honestly, it feels like they're dropping content for the fans, not to try and drag people back in. I think this will drag a lot of people back in, but like, the fact that the first thing they said about the new bug was it's a returning favorite, like, cool. You've still got the original guys in mind. It felt really good. Yeah, very excited. Very excited.
I think the only step wrong that Helldivers has made, apart from all the authentication drama stuff, you know, but the only step sideways they've made in terms of gameplay is when they like start tweaking stuff to please the fucking, you know, COD streamers and shit like that. So this update feels like a great step in the right direction. I hope there's a lot more in the pipeline, because I feel like this game just needs to be fueled, unfortunately. You know, like, that's the nature of games these days, right? But this is exciting development. I honestly I'm actually surprised we're getting a level 10, to be honest. I kind of thought like maybe level 9 was like the limit the game could handle, you know what I mean? So I'm excited. I don't know if I'll be excited halfway through a match on level 10, but I'm looking forward to seeing it, at least on Twitter.
Well, rating 10 is called Super Helldive.
Super Helldive, yeah, okay. Well, that's the other thing, because the last one was called Helldive level 9, so that's another, like, in my mind, but we can't go past Helldive, the name of the fucking game.
Yeah, true.
Super Helldive it is, all right.
Super Helldive. Look forward to difficulty 15, Mega Helldive. It's going to be a great update. I can't wait. But yeah, Helldivers 2, keen to jump back in. Looks like a really good update. And if you guys want to know more, definitely check out the trailer. It's 4 minutes long, really good. Lots of info. Another game that we've got some information on is another game that we played quite a lot, quite recently. And that's Concord. So Concord basically put out a bunch of tweets the other day outlining like basically their plan for Concord going forward. I'm just gonna read the tweets that they put out. So basically, it was just a whole bunch of like photo screenshots. So we'll go through them one by one. We'll talk about it, and then we'll gauge how we feel. So maps, modes, and progression. How many maps and modes will be available at launch? There will be 12 distinct maps available when Concord releases in August, including the 5 maps you've experienced during early access and open beta weekends. All 6 of the modes featured in the beta, Takedown, Trophy Hunt, Arena Control, Signal Chase, Clash Point, and Cargo Run will all be available on day 1 as well. These lineups will grow soon after Concord's release throughout regular post-launch sessions and updates, which will introduce new free gunners, maps, and more. What other kind of progression rewards will be in the game? The progression rewards you saw in beta are just a small sample of the unlockable items in the full game. When Concord launches, we'll have hundreds of items to customize your free gunners, which you can earn just by playing the game, completing jobs, and leveling up your account and characters. These rewards are cosmetic, do not impact gameplay, and include free gunner outfits, wearables, and accessories, as well as weapons, skins, weapon charms, victory and defeat poses, and drop-in animations. Will there be a battle pass? Concord does not have a battle pass. We wanted to focus our attention on making Concord a rewarding and robust experience on day 1, where just playing the game, leveling up your accounts and characters, and completing jobs yields meaningful rewards. Will there be post-launch content? Launch is just the beginning. We will be introducing new free gunners, maps, modes, and more through regular post-launch seasons and updates available to all players at no additional cost. We'll be diving deeper into our post-launch roadmap very soon. Stay tuned. Will there be more in-game cinematics? The beta showcased the first 3 of our cinematic vignettes, which will be released weekly in-game at launch. As you saw, these brief cinematics will allow you to know the characters and learn more about life as a free gunner and the broader Concord galaxy. Variants and systems. How many free gunner variants will be in the game? While the beta introduced you to the first variants for Lennox, Hamar, and Tio, in the full game, there will be multiple unique variants for each of our launch roster of 16 playable free gunners. These variants will be unlockable through progression and special weekly variant unlock jobs on the job board beginning at launch. Will the game have a lever penalty system? Ensuring teams are complete and evenly matched throughout a game is a priority for us. We are exploring a vanity of methods, including lever penalty systems to incentivize players to start and stay in complete teams. Stay tuned for more updates. Will the Galaxy Guide be available at launch? Yes, the Galaxy Guide is an important part of how your journey in Concord will unfold at launch and beyond, unlocking more information and narrative threads about our characters and the broader Concord galaxy as you level up your character and your account. Solo modes and training. Will there be solo PvP modes like free-for-all? At launch, we will have 6 distinct 5v5 team-based modes, which range from more appropriate respawn-based modes like Trophy Hunt to more competitive modes like Cargo Run, all of which will be queued for as a solo player. We will not have a solo-specific mode at launch, but our lineup will grow over time through regular content updates. We look forward to partnering with the community to help inform how we can evolve the experience in new modes in the future. Will there be any form of training mode? Alongside trying out different free gunners in a match, at launch you will also be able to familiarize yourself with core mechanics, movement, and select character abilities and gear in a special single-player training mode. And that is all the information they dropped. And it's quite good information and lots of information in one go.
That is a lot of information. I'm surprised we didn't. So surprised we didn't know more, like, more of that. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised this wasn't like a 4-minute video that they put up on YouTube, to be honest with you. Like, dropping it is just like some... Maybe they felt the heat from the beta, people being like, this game's done on launch, and they're like, well, let's not give them something they can dislike on YouTube. Let's just put this out to the masses and see how they feel about
it. This game... I don't know, man. This game's just feeling like games used to a little bit, you know? And it's... I really want to like it. And after the beta, I do indeed like it. But it does make me nervous to buy a game that 7 other people will be playing. And that's... Like, if we're all thinking that, though, we need to get over it, buy the game, and it'll be all fucking sweet, though. You know what I mean?
I think the justification of that price tag really does come from the fact that they are clearly, as you said, treating this like how games used to. Like, are there seasons? Yes. Are there battle passes? No. All the content will be available to you when the season launches. It's gonna, whatever new shit they're putting in, whatever new mode, whatever new map, it's just gonna be yours to play with. Will they have a store? Maybe. I didn't see one on the menu that indicated that I had any spot for it on the UI, so possibly, you know, never rule it out. But it looks like they're just trying to make like a real ass video game that you would have like put into your like PS3 or your 360 back in the day, that you just sat down, played, had everything available to you. Again,
it does feel that, like, it feels like a 360 game,
yeah,
but in all the right ways.
So anybody that's like, hey, this should be free to play, well, they're not treating it as a free to play game. That's why, you know, no battle pass, no indication of a store. The $30 in America, $60 price tag here, well, that's them trying to make money so they can continue to fund the game. You know what I mean? That's them trying to make it so that they can pay people to continue to add content to a game that isn't trying to gouge you every 3 months for $15 or $20, or, you know, Call of Duty wants $45 every fucking 3 months now for a freaking battle pass plus a couple of extra exclusive skins, you know? So I kind of feel like a lot of this information really would have helped the game when it was announced. Like,
or at the very least, you know, the week before the beta
yeah,
started.
like, hey, we've dropped the beta. Hope you guys like the first day, or hell, I hope you guys like the first weekend, just so you're all aware before open weekend starts. Here's all this information you need to know.
Fucking drop this between the two, yeah.
100%. It would have got a lot of people who were hating on the game, because at that point, you've already got the people that are pre-ordered that are jumping in. Get the people that aren't pre-ordering, that are expecting battle passes, expecting, you know, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to have to buy this character, aren't I? Oh, nothing's free. They've basically come out and said, we're adding new maps. We have this many maps at launch. You've played the majority of our modes. You haven't seen the training mode. That's there. We're doing these animated vignettes. That costs money. There's a whole area we haven't seen yet, this Galaxy Guide. I hope the Galaxy Guide is a place where these like animations go, because it'd be so sad to think that like, hey, we're dropping a brand new trailer every week, every month, and then it just disappears after the week's over, you know what I mean? Like, put it in the Galaxy Guide. Let me go back and relive some of these cool cutscenes that you guys have put so much time into. Now, again, was Concord perfect? No, there's little things that they need to iron out. But reading this makes me think that they intend to. They intend to put as much time and effort into this game as they can. This is Firewalk's first game, and they are treating it like their baby. They are like, we will give everything to this. Reading all of this, seeing there's no battle pass, there will be post-launch content. They're going to do all these cinematics to help build a world and the characters that they clearly love so much. Like, the reveal to me now feels like they love this world so much that they were told, make a hero shooter. And they're gone, cool. We're going to build a world that just has a hero shooter in it, because like they clearly want the ability to take these characters that they clearly love so much and do something else with them later on. And I hope they get that opportunity. Like, honestly, I hope they get it. It's almost like they're trying to emulate Overwatch a little bit. Like Overwatch, massive game. Everybody loved it. Game of the Year, win of the year. It came out. Super cool. But people love those freaking like hero shorts that introduce new heroes. They love the world building of Overwatch. I think people care more about the world building and the characters now than they do about the actual game. You know what I mean? And I think Concord's coming at it head on, being like, hey, we know people are going to be pissy that it's a hero shooter, but we do have a world worth exploring. And hopefully Sony sees they have a world worth exploring and say, hey, great job on Concord. If you want to make a game doing whatever the hell you want, be it first person, third person shooter, RTS, whatever you want to do in this universe, go for it. Because every character I loved, it seems like a rich universe. It seems really, really cool. It just sucks that the first game in this universe is a hero shooter. Like, and in such a saturated market right now, you know what I mean? The only other thing that would have made me go, oof, dead on arrival, is if it was a battle royale. You know what I mean? Like in a world where Sony wanted, like, hey, we want a battle royale, we want a hero shooter. I'm kind of glad Concord's a hero shooter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
We've got a lot of hero shooters coming out right now, and not all of them are going to survive. You know what I mean? We said it with BRs. Like BRs, we've got the mains. You know, so we get an occasional one every now and again. And the problem is everybody always goes back to the main, you know, the main battle royales. I mean, look at Spellbreak, right? Spellbreak was a battle royale where you play as a wizard and you like fling magic around, and the game was never bad. Never. It was great all the way up until they said, guess what? No one's playing. We got to shut the servers off. And now there are like private servers that are set up by the community because people still want to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's a sad story. And I can see Concord going the same way. The only thing that Concord probably has over like what a lot of other hero shooters don't have is Sony. Like, this is Sony's hero shooter. I can see Sony putting money into this to keep it alive just so they can't say that they had a failure. You know what I mean? Like, I could see them pumping cash into this to keep it alive even when no one's playing, and then eventually sunset it off quietly later on without making a big deal about it. But yeah, I mean, in a world where you've got Overwatch, you know, you've got Marvel Rivals now, another big one with a lot of money behind it. You got Concord. I don't know. There's really not much room for any more hero shooters. Just like there's not really any room anymore for battle royales. So I hope it succeeds.
Yeah, like 2 comments on that. Like, one, the no battle pass, which I'm not a fan of battle passes, so that excites me. But it's not going to be as demanding of our time as other games, which I think is very respectful when you're joining such a packed genre.
Yep.
Obviously, the weekly cutscenes and things like that do keep the game chugging, but you're not going to miss any paid battle pass content if you take a month off. So I think that's cool. But on the flip side, a $60 game demands, you know, a few issues from the beta, like the desync and like a few server issues, things of that nature. If they can't get them fixed by launch, and you pay $60 for a decent game, well, that's going to be a problem. Whereas if it's free to play, yeah, people get angry, but they just fuck off, and that, you know, eventually it's fine, right? But yeah, if people have paid for it, it needs to be a premium experience, and the game's fun. I think the game can do it, but the fact you're only a few weeks from launch, that's my only little, like, if it was free to play, I think we'd be more forgiving on some of those things.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's a paid game, and I'm glad it's not, you know, feels old school in that nature. And I think I'm going to buy it because I want to support that type of game release, and I think the game's fun. I'll buy it, and then we'll see how we go with the controller. It looks nice, but I don't know if I'll get that. I don't know if I'll go that far yet.
It is a nice controller. I will say that it is very nice. It
looks very nice.
Yeah, I'm very keen.
I just, out of like everything that Sony's released, like, I'm just surprised there's a controller for this game, to be honest, but it looks very nice.
Yeah. Poor Concord. It's trying.
Poor Concord.
It's trying.
I'm keen.
All right, mate. One last thing before we get into our discussions on Marvel Rivals is, I don't know if you've seen anything of this, but okay. You know what Gundam is, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, I just did a great video over on the YouTube channel, guys. I play Gundam Breaker 4. Check it out. By the way, they're doing another technical test. We're going to do another video, this time focusing on multiplayer. Get hyped. Basically, at Comic-Con, they did a Gundam panel, and they showed the brand new trailer for Mobile Suit Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, which takes place during the 1-year war, which is the original conflict from the Gundam series. But this seems to take place from the enemy's perspective, the enemy. You know what I mean? There are no good guys in war. And that's something that the Gundam series has always done perfectly, is showing that no one wins when it comes to war. If you want a really good representation of like war with cool mechs and sci-fi setting, Gundam is great for that. Really, really good. Iron Blooded Orphan, GOAT series, best of all time. I stand by that. Come at me in the comments. I don't care. The reason I'm bringing it up on our podcast is the trailer dropped and it's releasing on Netflix this October. And it was entirely animated in Unreal Engine 5.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And it looks just like those old full CG movies from the early 2000s, like the early Final Fantasy ones, right? Like, it doesn't look amazing. It does. But it reminded me of that, and I just got really excited. I got super excited. And I thought, you know, this is going to be the movie that either we see more movies done in Unreal Engine 5, like completely animated, or this is going to kill them doing that until people get really good at it. But the other thing that's super interesting is during this panel, they also announced, and this is where we get to the game part, that there will be a Requiem for Vengeance game. And then they went on to clarify that it's going to be in Fortnite. They're adding a Gundam Requiem for Vengeance Island, and it's going to come to Unreal Engine Fortnite. They dropped a cool little poster for what the Gundams look like. And they look sick, though. They look real cool in Unreal Engine 5, like these Gundam. It's just the humans that freak me the fuck out. And everyone's like, oh man, I hope there's skins in the Fortnite game and all that sort of stuff. I guess my big question is, like, Gundam doing it, wow, that's really cool. That's really great. Do you see this being a thing that we're going to get a lot? Like, hey guys, Blade is coming out this weekend, and at the very end of the panel, oh, just so you guys know, we're adding the Blade Island to Fortnite. Like, do you see Fortnite as being the place to go to get people hyped after a reveal like that?
I think that's what Epic would like.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
I think it comes down to, like, I'm guessing by building it inside of Fortnite, you could get something, TM, up and running a lot quicker than if you were to build something from scratch. So, you know, if you've decided, like, you know what, like 6 months out or a year out from this thing, we want to build an interactive experience, and the dev team's like, well, yeah, that'll take us 3 years. And then you're like, well, what about if it was just like something in Fortnite? And they're like, oh, that'll probably take about 8 months. I mean, obviously that'll get greenlit. So I don't know. I could see it happening more, but I have a feeling it's going to be very much like licensed stuff and not... I guess everything would be licensed. That's probably a stupid thing to say, but yeah, I don't think we're seeing the end of it. How do you feel about it?
I think Gundam makes sense, especially since it was done in Unreal Engine 5. That's probably how they're going to justify it being
all
in
the
there.
assets and stuff are all good to go. Yeah.
I think Gundam makes sense because, like, I don't think just dropping a Requiem for Vengeance Gundam game would have generated enough people to buy it. That's just me personally thinking that, you know what I mean? I feel like with a Gundam game, like, you've got to have, like, heaps of, like, build up, a reveal and all that sort of stuff, and then actually show the thing to get people hyped. I mean, look at Gundam Evolution. That was an Overwatch hero-style shooter with Gundam. And very topical, actually, now that I think about it. And that was shut down within a year because nobody was playing it. Only I was playing it. Me and a whole bunch of other people from Japan who I couldn't talk to because they didn't speak English. I got very sad. But it was a great game. Lots of fun. It was actually really well done. Really well made. And it's just gone. So doing this in Fortnite totally makes sense. And it'll be a great way to gauge numbers for people interested in Gundam, I think.
Well, and Fortnite's so big, it might introduce new people. Yeah.
Dude, that's what I was thinking, because like we kind of got a taste for this back when they were like, hey, we're dropping the trailer for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker in Fortnite, get hyped. I'm like, oh, okay. Now they're just dropping full on like video game experiences, and I'm like, okay, I wonder if this is now the future of like what Fortnite's going to do, is just like not have it interact with the VR at all and just drop an island where you can explore this world for yourself. Like that's Epic's ultimate goal, is to just like move us towards being more like, hey, there's this thing in Fortnite that doesn't really interact with Fortnite. Come and check it out. It's like literally become the billboard in the video game industry. Like, hey, showcase your shit here. We'll pimp it for you. Let's pay the monies.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, you know, think of like a different thing where like the Indiana Jones game is about to come out, and then in Sea of Thieves there's an island where there's like a temple that you can go and go through, and it's all themed like Indiana Jones. Like, people would be keen.
Yeah.
I guess with Fortnite, if it's a whole dedicated experience, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It feels very additive. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, if we couldn't do this thing in Fortnite, we wouldn't be doing anything. So it's not. I don't feel like they've taken anything away by doing it. That might not be true, but that's how it feels to me, at least. I think it's a positive overall.
It is a positive. I just wanted to gauge what you thought of that. Maybe make everybody go out and watch the new Gundam movie when it drops. I believe it's dropping end of October, I believe. So get hyped for that if you're a Gundam fan. Mate. We've been playing some Marvel Rivals the last couple of days, and we are hot off 2 days worth of playing it. We have gameplay going up on the channel, so check that out. Star-Lord's already up. Punisher's about to be up. And I think I've done Doctor Strange, Luna Snow, Hulk, other people. Lots of gameplay. Basically, mate, what do you think of it? How do you feel about it? Is it something you're going to add to your lexicon of video games, or is it something you'll just jump into when the boys are on? You know what I mean?
Kind of both. Like, I think, it's free to play, so I'm going to install it. You know what I mean? It's got a space on the computer. But I think I'll probably mostly play it when others are online. It doesn't feel like it's going to be that fun to jump in solo. No, sorry, that sounds awful. I think once people get a grip of the game and understand how it functions, and you jump in solo and you don't play the character that everyone wants you to play or whatever, I think that sort of stuff gets a bit jarring for me. But no, definitely getting a spot on the PC. It's just Overwatch, and I don't mean that as a negative. It's just fucking Overwatch. Like, the way certain game modes work in every other game on planet Earth, it's one way, but it works this way in Overwatch. Oh, now it works this way in Marvel Rivals as well. Like it's just Overwatch. But it's quite fun, and it's just a beta, so there's a few like balancing tweaks and a few things like that would probably help a little bit, to be fair. But it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cool seeing characters that and like it's like a new interpretation in a way. Like, oh, this character's ranged in the Marvel comics or MCU, like how they range. Like Iron Man, for example, is a ranged character, but the more powerful beam ability, the range on it is like fuck all. So it's like the balance is you have to get in a bit closer where you can be hit easier to use it. So like it's very interesting their interpretation on the abilities and how they fit into the game, because like Iron Man can fly, and a lot of the objective game modes are like on the fucking ground. So it's very cool in that sense. It has sort of reminded me how much I want an Iron Man game, but how hard it would be to make it work. Like the limitations of the map as Iron Man, I just constantly run into. Like, oh, I can't get over this building, or oh, I can't go around this wall. So it's sort of just like reminded me that why Iron Man doesn't really have the game that I would want him to have.
Hey man, maybe EA will do you right. Their game's coming.
Fuck me dead, that's right, it is.
Yeah, Motive. EA Motive or whatever it is.
That sounds right.
They're making their Iron Man game.
Because there's a new studio doing...
Dude, EA's got a shit ton of like stuff. Got like the Iron Man game, the Black Panther game, the oh wait, who's doing? No, Skydance is doing the Black Panther, the Hydra, Rise of Hydra. But yeah, they got an Iron Man game and a Black Panther game.
Man.
Yeah.
In my mind with EA, it's like once I see it,
you'll believe it's real.
I'll probably still wait for it to come out, but I'll at least be like, okay, that's on my radar,
You know what? Almost made it to the end of the podcast without a classic Kyle controversial opinion. The Iron Man 2 movie time video game fucking slaps. Is it good? No.
I don't know if we've
it's really not, but it slaps.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so hype when you play as War Machine, and I don't know why. Like, it makes you play as Iron Man the whole time, and then it's like, hey, play as War Machine, and you're like, oh, chain gun, rockets, let's go. So good. Yeah. For some reason, Tony Stark knows karate, like really, really well in the video games, and then you watch the movies, and you're like, you might know karate.
They had a half-made karate game, and then went, oh, shit, we can turn this into Iron Man.
They had a half-made karate game where the karate guy flies around. It's like, oh, what can we do with this? Because yeah, like Tony Stark does moves like, I think one's called like Rising Dragon or something like that, where he like boosts his knee up into someone's jaw. It's great. Yeah, Iron Man 2 movie tie game slaps.
I want the Iron Man game to be very like similar in size and scope to like the Spider-Man games from Insomniac. But again, like, he's got, like, it's just, I don't know, it's like like I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about that. But the Marvel Rival game, it's just made me think about what else I kind of want, because I love playing with these characters and this world and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, the game itself's fun. The character roster's quite interesting. They haven't just gone for the 6 Avengers and called it a day. Like, they've really mixed up the roster. There's characters I've never even heard of in the game, which I appreciate. I do think all the Avengers will be there, if not at launch, very soon after. I don't think it's going to be a case of never having them show up.
Thor's coming before the end of the open battle. Get excited. And
tomorrow or something.
Mate, Jeff the Shark is going to be OP as shit. I cannot wait.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, what a yin and yang in a sense. I've never heard of Jeff the Shark. Don't know who that is.
You're going to love Jeff.
And we've got Thor. So it's like everyone's covered.
Have you seen his photo? He looks so happy. He looks so happy. I'm excited for Jeff. I think I'm going to be a Jeff main. I'm not going to lie. I was tearing ass up today with Punisher, but like, I don't know, man. Jeff, he's pretty sick, man. We do know that Black Widow and Captain America are coming as well, because you can actually find them on the map. So if you look on if you're in the beta and you're on the Tokyo map, the one where you escort Spider-Zero, look on the map. There's graffiti of Black Widow, but it's all out of proportion, so it's like very stylized, but there's basically what you're going to look like. And if you look at the arcade machines, as well as one of the food restaurants, you'll see Captain America, and his like wings are like out of the suit. Ever since the MCU, they've like incorporated the wings into the helmet a lot, but this one, like the wings are out and they're angular and they look sick as hell, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for like a classic looking cap. And Doctor Doom, we now know what Doctor Doom looks like. We knew what he looked like before the trailer they dropped today, but now we have a proper idea of what he looks like because of the trailer. But he's just up on the wall in the Tokyo map, just chilling.
This roster's gonna be huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see them adding to this for years, man. Years.
Yeah. And no, I'm at the point where I prefer it to Overwatch.
I agree.
But I know we've had this discussion on your stream, but Concord's still holding strong for me. Look, I know the two are like so different, but at the same time they're so similar, and it sucks they're gonna get compared, because the name Marvel. Like, even if Marvel Rivals was half the quality, it's like it still probably gets away with it because it's a Marvel game. But I think, I don't know. It's just an interesting time to have two similar games coming out. I think it's good that Marvel Rivals is free to play. I think it suits the game better, because
it needs to be.
It needs to be, but if it's going to fund itself through skins, I think the skins for Marvel characters are going to be a lot more marketable than skins for Concord characters that you only know if you've watched the cutscenes, and if you've skipped through them, then you're not going to buy the skins.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck. So, from a business model perspective, we just had a conversation about Concord being, we think it's a good thing that it's a pay-to-play game. I think Marvel Rivals is good as free-to-play, and I think for my wallet, that'll allow me to get both and have them both installed and play them both. But I would like to hear your thoughts about Marvel's Rivals. I don't know. Tell me.
Marvel
You've been
Rivals.
keeping an eye on it for a lot longer than I have.
I've been very excited for this game ever since the announcement. I was pretty hyped. All right, I'm just going to I feel like we'll do this again when the beta's over and we can have a proper discussion when we play with Thor and all that stuff. But here's basically the dot points of how I'm feeling going into it, right? Probably the best art style I've seen for a Marvel game in like forever. I like the angular feel to it. I like the character designs. I think they're all very unique, but you know exactly who they are. I think they're very true to the comic while carving out their own path. I love that a lot. Love the range of characters. Like you were saying, there's a lot of characters that a lot of people aren't going to know. Like, for example, Luna Snow. Not a lot of people are going to know who she is. I don't think a lot of people... even like Adam Warlock. Like, if you haven't watched the third Guardians movie, you're not going to have any fucking idea who Adam Warlock is. You know what I mean? So it was really cool that he's in there. We've got some X-Men.
And even then, I feel like he's getting a fairer go in this game than he did in the movie.
100%, Yeah, we got some X-Men. We got some like random characters. We got some Avengers. We got Punisher, for Christ's sake. Like, who thought Punisher would be in a launch lineup for a freaking Marvel hero shooter? You know what I mean?
He is.
He's great. I love it. Maps. Okay, maps are pretty good. They're pretty well designed. They are chock full of like references to Marvel, the Marvel comics, the Marvel heroes, as well as to the story that they're telling in the game, which is my next point. Story. This game actually has a story that, if you're actually paying attention, you read the loading screens, you pay attention to the storytelling. within the map. I think it's way more clear in this than it is in Overwatch that there is a story happening and there's stuff going on. Overwatch is one of those things where it's like, escort the objective. Sometimes the objective is like Doomfist Glove, but unless you're like super entrenched into like Overwatch lore and know all that stuff, like it's not going to be real obvious. Whereas I feel like, especially with Marvel, with it being so popular, just they've made it quite obvious from the get-go, especially with the loading screens having the information you need before you even get into the map, basically telling you why you're here, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. Very cool. Skins are great. We've just had a look at, like, it's just the beta skins at the moment, but from what we've seen, it looks like there's going to be a lot of love given to that aspect. I'm very excited to see like what they do, how they evolve, like what characters we'll get. Hopefully we don't get into the thing that Overwatch has gotten into where when they launch a new character, they get cool launch skins and then they just don't get touched. I want everyone to get some love. I want Captain America to get as much of his as he can. I want Black Widow to get as much of her classic skins as she can. I think that'll be really good. Just overall, really clean menus, really clean, flashy. It's just class all around. Like the character selection menu, basically the statistics were stolen straight from Overwatch, but that's not a bad thing. It's a very clean menu, very well done. The only downside to the menu is the main menu screen really gives away that these developers are developed for mobile. And that this is their first sort of like real foray into PC and console. That opening screen, a very mobile like menu, but again, not necessarily a bad thing because it makes it real easy to find everything. Nothing's hidden. You can see everything.
It's not a bad menu.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just super obvious that this is their first console game. That's not me saying give them a break. That's me saying that this is their first one.
Just to touch on that as well, like it's an Unreal Engine 5 game, which there's not many out there, and it's probably their first crack at it as well. And it uses a lot of the new features like the lumen lighting and, you know, things of that nature, which is cool. But I must say the performance can be very like up and down, you know, like some parts of that Tokyo map I'm running at 30 frames, other parts I'm running at 120. That's a huge difference.
Legit.
It's a beta, not a huge complaint, but I do hope that that's one of their areas of focus, just moving towards launch, just to optimize it a bit more. But hey, it's a beta.
Yeah.
A little bit of frame issues. Not the end of the world, but just something that I think, you know, is worth mentioning.
I was literally about to get into the downsides. So yeah, the downsides are not every match is going to be smooth. Frame drops happen a lot. Just your character loading in at the start of a match can be really bad. I've had more than enough issues of being on 99% on a load screen, hearing the match start, hearing people select a hero, hearing them go out there and die before I even get a chance to load in and pick whatever's left. Like it's very, like, again, beta could be ironed out before launch. There is no release date for this, so they have a lot of time if they want to actually fix it, which is why I think they're doing it. And I'm sure we're going to get a couple more betas before this game comes out, but I hope they don't hit the X-Defiant thing.
Yeah, I can see another beta.
Yeah, I hope they don't X-Defiant it where we get like enough and there's so much talking about it that they're like, hey, it's coming out eventually, because I feel like this would be more guilty of that than X-Defiant, because like X-Defiant was like, this is Marvel. Like if they wanted to come out, they wanted to bang. By the way, X-Defiant, double XP weekend this weekend. Take advantage.
We can say that every week.
Yeah,
I'll just tack it on the end of the episode.
Legit. They literally tweeted, hey, we heard your outcry, double XP weekend. Like, really? Has there been a weekend where it isn't?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. And just quickly to end my first impressions, this will probably also be a video on the channel, so get ready for this. But here, top 5 rivals, Marvel rival characters to try right now. In no particular order. Number 1 is Star-Lord. Definitely play Star-Lord. So you got Star-Lord. I would try Punisher. I would try Doctor Strange for a tank character. Luna Snow for a healing character. And who am I going to chuck in there at the end? Probably Iron Man. Iron Man's a lot of fun. Gets a lot of verticality. Can stay up in the air for ages, but is also pretty much a sitting duck up there if you don't know what you're doing with him. But
he has fuck all health, so it's really, you know, you really got to be ready to dodge, is all I can say.
Legit. But yeah, all in all, somewhat positive experience with Marvel Rivals. The last thing I want to put out there...
Oh, more positive than negative here.
Yeah. Here's the negative thing. Their rollout of codes and actually getting people into this beta has been atrocious.
Yeah, that's fair. The game itself is more positive.
Yes,
but
the game's fine, but everything they've
Yeah.
done to like clearly they can accommodate more people, or at least I'd hope. But then again, with some of the matches we've had, maybe not. But they hyped up Twitch drops and didn't tell people what the Twitch drop was. Twitch drop went live, and it turned out it was access to the beta. people watch content creators for an hour. That is not a small amount of time. Sure, you can get up and walk away, but I'm sure a lot of people didn't. I'm sure they sat there, watched their favorite streamer play Marvel Rivals for a full hour so they could get in there and play alongside them, only to get to a menu that was so overloaded after that first hour of the drops going live that basically crashed the website, made it, basically said, hey, just so you guys know, this drop is first and best dressed. We'll have another load of them coming out tomorrow. Good luck. And yeah, basically left everybody on silent for a little bit. The Discord was like in absolute anarchy. They were literally ripping people from the rafters. They were bashing in the walls. They were not happy about it, and they handled it very, very poorly. Also, there is a mechanic inside of the game where if you hit level 6, you also have the opportunity to get a code for your friend in the game. So they've given you a lot of opportunities to get codes. Like they even gave codes to streamers to give away, to YouTubers to give away on their channels and stuff. And people getting those codes go and put it in and say, hey, we will send you a code soon. It's first in best dress right now. We're trying to get as many people in as we can. Don't make codes a drop. Don't make codes a giveaway. Don't make codes obtainable in the game if you can't accommodate the people. That's all I have to say on the matter. It was handled really poorly. It was handled quite badly, to be honest. And I think it would be... We need to mention it. There are positives to the game. We are enjoying playing the game. But what I'm not enjoying is the fact that not everybody can get in and play. And the way they're handling it is atrocious. So I just think that needs to be stated so everybody knows that, like, we are very fortunate to be playing, but we are aware of the bullshit going on, and we are willing to say something about it because there are a couple of people out there.
I don't think I realized there was so much problems. I knew there was a couple, but that's quite a list. The Twitch drop one,
is terrible.
That's abusive, honestly, abusive for people's time. And the level 6 one, that's probably in a similar category.
Yeah, what's annoying is like you click on that panel before you hit level 6, and it says, "Hey, get to level 6 to get a beta code for a friend."
Grind.
And then you get to level 6 and you click on it, and only then are you given the information that, hey, just so you're aware, these are first come first serve. You have to get on at this time and hit this button in order to get a code, and then they need to put that code in straight away because even if they've got a code, there's no guarantee that that code is going to get them in because everybody's getting codes to try and get in, and there's only so many a day. They're creating scarcity to generate hype, but all it has done has pissed off the community. Probably hasn't pissed off the people playing, but it's pissed off the people that are like literally at the door who have a ticket to get in, but the bouncer is telling them we're at maximum capacity. Like it's mental.
I don't want the game to fail, of course, but I would laugh if you force everyone to watch an hour on Twitch. They can't get in. But it's all they found out in that hour that's just Overwatch 3. Just go and have a game of Overwatch.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. If you guys are feeling like playing Marvel Rivals, play some Overwatch while you wait. But
the map design, I know you said the map design's good, but my God, it just feels like Overwatch map design. You know what I mean? Like it's like, it is good.
That's why it's
and
good.
It feels good. And there's, why fix what ain't broke? But it's every aspect of this game is just Overwatch, with the exception of like, at the moment, you can just play whichever character you want. Like there's no like, force in to have like 2 tanks and 2 whatever's like, it's a bit more open. It's a bit more like Overwatch 1 was, but that might change. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe. But again, we'll have more to say about it when the beta ends, when we see how they've handled the code situation, and when we get a chance to play some of the new characters they're adding to the game. But I think that's a pretty good indicator of whether or not we are enjoying it, whether or not people should check it out. And I think that is going to do it from us this week. Jack, mate, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you are listening on the Spotifys, please drop us a follow there. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and hit the like button. It's free. It makes me feel good. And it's a great way to keep up to date with everything we're doing. And if you really want to keep up to date with everything we're doing, head over to oneupgames.com. That's where it's like our little hub where you can find links to everything, including the Twitch, where we'll be streaming lots of Marvel Rivals, as well as some other fun and awesome games in the coming weeks. If you're on YouTube, there's a link for that down below as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it from us. Thank you so much for listening, watching, giving us your time. We appreciate it. Until next time, may all of your games be good ones, and we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.